I've done $235 worth of business on this Sunday night. It was busy before midnight, and then it got quiet in the morning after about 1:30 or so. And so most of the money was made before midnight. And I'm kind of tired right now. I'm gonna go home. I just need to fuel this and park it. It's raining much too hard to worry about washing the car. Yeah, I'm tired. It's raining hard. I did not get much sleep yesterday. Mainly because I fell asleep on Friday night and didn't wake up till 10 o'clock Saturday morning. And there's a domino effect to that. Oh yeah, 235 is not half bad. I'll be back for 4 more nights. I have just had what amounts to about a $300 night. The time is now 5:27 a.m. Yeah, better keep the light on so that you can see me. And when I came out my door, I was surprised to see some white stuff on the ground. There was white stuff on the ground, and it was kind of wet, sticky, heavy snow. It wasn't deep, it wasn't that much of it, but it was heavy, wet snow. And that was okay. It made for things being a little bit sloppy and slushy. And in the morning hours now, it got cold enough to freeze. So a lot of that slush that had melted had turned to ice. So in some places there are some slippery spots. There have been salt trucks going around, but they haven't been able to go everywhere because there aren't really that many of them. Well, I took a guy to the hospital who had some procedure he was going to undergo, and I was going to go across town to the car wash to wash the car because the owner is driving it next, and we want to make it clean for him, especially if it's been slushy and salty and yucky. So I got a time call, which was right nearby, and she came much closer to the car wash than where I was before I got her call. And it was a $20 fare. So that was nice. And that put me up almost $300. I think I got $295 or something like that on, which is really acceptable. Because there was some white stuff on the ground, a lot of the drivers who would have been out tonight were not. They got scared and they stayed at home. They didn't come to work. Because around here, white stuff doesn't happen that often. And the people here are inexperienced with it, and they do not know how to deal with white stuff and ice. But I grew up in a place where it snows a lot. So I'm familiar with the way things work when it's slippery and when it's cold and when it's got white stuff on the ground. So I had a good night. I wonder what the rest of the week will bring, but this is a nice start. I have a chiropractor's appointment in an hour and a half. So I will go wash the car, deposit some money in the bank, detail the car, fuel it, park it, walk home, and then walk to the chiropractor's office with time enough to be there on time at 7:05, have my back adjusted, and have a neck decompression. So that is my Christmas week, I suppose. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna go log out. There we are. I do not have time to go to Hockley. It wants to send me to Hockley, out in the Western Communities. I do not have time to go to Hockley. The car wash is much closer than Hockley is, and I'm going to run out of time if I have to take somebody up there, or take somebody from up there. So, I take myself off the board at 5:31, even though my shift ends at 6. I mean, if I have to wash and detail the car, that's going to take me half an hour. There you go. Well, not much else. Hey, it looks like they salted the road here. There are these trails of salt solution that have been spread down on the ground. It looks like they're pretty fresh too. It looks like it just happened. Oh well, good. I'll be back tomorrow. I just had a $220 night, which is better than a $120 night. So I made a profit. I made a little profit. That's good. The pace wasn't too crazy. It was kind of busy at one point near the beginning, but it slowed right down after about 11 o'clock, and it was more relaxed and easygoing. And, you know, I just went with it and watched some videos and went to sleep a couple times. And there were a couple of breaks that were an hour and a half or 2 hours long. But before that, it was quite steady. Like I said, I'm just going through the motions. I'm just tired of working. It's the season too. It's, you know, we just got past the solstice. As long as I'm past the solstice, things will get better and the days will get longer and it will be brighter and not so dark anymore. Because right now, it's dark when I go to work and it's dark when I go home. And that's depressing. For me, anyway. I'd like to see some daylight. I have this problem every year. But I think this year, with all this COVID stuff going on, it makes it even more more dreary than it would otherwise be. It just is. Yeah, it's a little hard when you live by yourself. You know, you don't really celebrate with anyone. And the routine just becomes a bit of a drudge. But that's me talking about this time of year. Things will get better in spring, I hope. And I also hope that this COVID is over and done with. But, you know, I'm being a realist, and I know that they'll probably find some other excuse to mess life up for us. As if it hasn't been messed up enough already. The quality of life is what's really taken a dive. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully in a better mood. I got 250 on and it's 5:30 in the morning. Was that the Wednesday night? Yeah, I think that was a Wednesday night. I was asleep for much of the morning because, well, it was busy like panics when I started at 7 o'clock. I slept in a little bit because I was exhausted. Started at 7, and yeah, now it's 5:30. Uh, 10.5 hours. That's enough. I could just run to the car wash now and wash it, because I doubt that the way it's quiet this morning, I'm gonna get another call before 6. I doubt it. So wait for this light to change. There we go. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of yawning. I'm tired. This morning I gotta get some groceries because I don't think they will be able to get groceries on Christmas Day. Tonight will be Christmas Eve. Else to say, really. It was a busy night at first, and then it got quiet around 11, and then it got really quiet after 1. One more night to go. That'll be Christmas Eve. I forgot to tell you about one call that I got to a convenience store. I got sent there, and there was this guy sitting there, and the temperature is almost freezing, right? He's not wearing a shirt or a jacket, and he's got a few tattoos, and he's got pants on. I think he had shoes on, and he's also wearing a mask. Oh, very important, must have that mask. He's a native man. He looked kind of forlorn and out of sorts. And what happened to the light? That's weird. The light went out. The light is still out. How do I turn the light back on? There, the light's back on. I must have flipped it off by mistake by touching the wrong part of the screen while aiming this phone at me. Okay. So, the guy was looking kind of forlorn and lost. He wasn't wearing a shirt or a jacket. He had some pants on, and he had a mask. I think he had shoes. And the people from inside the store came outside and ushered him towards the cab, because I had been sent there. And he got in the back seat. And I said, "You must feel cold." He said, "Yeah, I'm freezing." And I say, "Well, where do you want to go?" He says, "I want to go to Souk." I said, "Well, in order to go to Souk, because it looked like he was a drunk native man. I said, in order to go to Souk, I need $70 up front. He says, can you take me in that direction? I said, only if you have money to go. He says, I can get money. I said, yeah, but I want to have the money before we leave. I'm not driving out to Souk for nothing. How far in that direction can you take me? I said, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, you don't have to apologize. I say, well, I can't help you. Then he got out. If somebody is willing to pay me up front, I know it's going to be good. But if they're acting sketchy and they're looking strange and they're being weird like that guy was, I want the cash up front. Thank you very much. I've been burnt too many times going out that way. Thought I'd add that part. This is what I look like when I have passengers in the car. But I hate these things. Hate them, hate them, hate them. I do not enjoy breathing, smelling my own breath. It's no fun. Oh yeah, we need light to do this, don't we? Well, I just dropped off my last passenger. It is 5:48 in the morning on Christmas Day. And I had a $400 night. It was real busy before 2 o'clock. And I had some long trips, the best of which was one where I was sent to the Victoria General Hospital to take a doctor home and take him back to the hospital because he had forgotten his keys in the car and locked the door. That was like $60. And we had quite a lively conversation regarding everything that's going on in the world right now. And I just told him that I ignore the news and I avoid the news and I don't watch the news or listen to the news. And he says, well, if you want to be abreast of what's going on in the world, how do you keep track? I said, I just get it all from my customers. And then I like to think for myself which parts I will pay attention to and which parts I will dismiss as being a bunch of hooey. So that's what I do basically. I judge which parts of the news that I hear through my customer filter, what I'm going to pay attention to. So yeah, that doctor was interesting. And what else? It was just a lot of people going home from visiting others and going to visit others. There was no such thing as people going out for dinner and people going to bars and pubs and restaurants. Those things were closed by 10 o'clock and nobody goes out that early. It's really killing our economy. But tonight my economy was good. $400. I needed that badly. I really needed that. And it is almost my weekend. As soon as I hose this thing down and park it and fuel it and add up all the slips from Interac and put the envelope in the glove box, I will walk home. And I will spend some time on Google Hangouts with my immediate family. Chances are, well, I hope that everything is set up, because my sister said she was going to set up everything beforehand so that we'd be ready just to talk to each other. And that would be wonderful. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't really need this anymore. I should log out and log off, because the end of my shift is in 8 minutes, and I'm not going to do another fare in 8 minutes, even if I'm right on top of it. So I logged out, and it's chilly. It feels chilly. The temperature on the dashboard says 7 degrees, but I think that the sensor is right above the windshield somewhere, and I have quite a bit of heat blowing on the windshield to keep me warm in here. And so I think that 7 is artificially high. It's probably like 3 degrees out there. Oh. Window up. I've got a window on the right side that you push to up, but it goes down. And sometimes you have to give it 3 tries to get the window to go up. But this thing has been a taxi for almost 8 years. So it's got things wrong with it that you don't usually have wrong with a car. And I've been driving it for, what, 7 of those 8 years? Yeah. This car and me, we're growing out together. And just now it's starting to rain. Just now. Hope yours is better than mine.